is to promote the welfare and provide for the protection and security of the government. And when any form or organization of government proves inadequate for or subversive of this purpose, it is the duty of the latter to abolish it. The Bill of Rights of Virginia, framed in 1776, reaffirmed again in 1830 and again in 1851, expressly reserves this right to a majority which assembled in Richmond on February 1st, and it goes on to talk about these things and says, wait a minute, if we don't do anything, then we will be subject to military despotism. So we adopt that. And it lists all of the things that we should do. Okay? Well, then they have to take another step. Because, see, there are people now who are thinking, okay, we've got to make a new state. But how do you make a new state? Because the Constitution of the United States says that you can make a state from another state, but the state from which the new state is being made has to give its permission. In 1820, for example, the state of Maine becomes a state because Massachusetts said, become a state. Okay. Well, who's going to go down to Richmond and say, hey, we got a proposition for you. So what we created, because, and here's the thinking, because Virginia, in effect, is leaving its constitutional mandates to do the things that states are going to do. There's a void there, and, you know, nature abhors a vacuum. So we're going to fill it. So we're going to create a new state. Well, that's not a new state. We're going to create the restored government of Virginia. So how many Virginias will there be? Well, there'll be two Virginias, really. There'll be a Virginia in the United States of America, and then there's the Virginia in the Confederate States of America. The Confederate States of Virginia has a capital at Richmond. The restored state of Virginia will have its capital at Wheeling. And what are the boundaries? Well, the state runs from the Ohio River to the Atlantic Ocean, from the Tennessee-North Carolina border up until Pennsylvania and Maryland. Now, wait a minute, isn't that the same state that's called the state of Virginia? Yeah, it's the same territory, but it's two states. The one state's not there anymore because it's in the Confederacy. If you ever watch Monty Python, Monty Python should have done this. Oh, it's a state, is it? No, it's not. Yes, it is. Well, okay. So we create this state. We create a governor, Francis Pierpont, father of West Virginia. You can go down and see his office. He's from Harrison County, Marion County. So we create this new state. And we elect senators, congressmen, and they're all in Washington. And they come over and knock on the door of the Senate and the House, and they said, yes, we're from the restored state of Virginia. And they go, sure you are. No, seriously. And they look around and think, what do we do? Well, bring them in. It's this war. Because by the time they get over there, some of the campaigns in West Virginia have already been fought, and we've in effect kicked the Confederates out of what's now West Virginia. For all, in terms of major battles, they're all pushed away. The Battle of Rich Mountain and Carrick's Ford and the Philippi races and all that stuff is long past. But the Battle of Manassas, Bull Run, which was a disastrous loss for the Union. And we could, hey, this war might last a lot longer than we think. So let's let these people in. Okay? Because we want to make sure we hold on to this area here, particularly that area up around Wheeling. So the restored state of government goes into effect. Actually, the money for it came from banks in Wheeling. Francis Pierpont went down and said, hey, we need some money. Well, I'd like a loan. What do you want? Well, we have this government called the restored state of government. Can you give us some money so we can pay some of our bill? Oh, really? Yeah, okay. And we're going to have the Capitol right here in Wheeling, right in this nice building down here. So they do that. Okay? So the restored state of government of Virginia meets, and they said, okay, now what are we going to do? Tell you what we want to do. We want to create a new state. Okay? What are we going to call it? Well, see, they wanted to call it Kanawha. Okay. See, here's why I think Kanawha. Okay, you know what Kanawha is? Okay. See, we pronounce it Kanawha because it's K-A-N-A-H-W-A. But you ever talk to anybody from Charleston? Kanawha. What? Kanawha. Okay. How do you spell that? Oh, I'm not sure. Is that C or K? How many letters in that word of yours? So they said, gee, how about West Virginia? I don't know why. Somebody said New Virginia. New Virginia is actually the better term. Because you have a New Jersey, you have a New York, you have a New Mexico, you have a New Hampshire. Why can't we have a New Virginia? So we create the only state with West in it that's in the East. See, that's why we should have known that West Virginia's going to be just a little bit different. So, okay, all right. How many want to create a new state? All like, okay, most people said, yeah. So let's submit it to the people. Do they want a new state? So they're going to submit it to all the people in what's now, what state? Oh, no, wait, no. No, you can't. But even at the restored state, how many counties are there? 150. So if you want the voice of the people, then you have to go down to Henrico County in Richmond, or you have to go down to Frederick County in Winchester, or down to Fluvanna County. That's one of my favorites. Fluvanna County, or actually my favorite county, now I'm not swearing, is Fauquier County. Serious? Right? Have you been to Fauquier County? Oh, wait a minute here. Watch your mouth. No, it's serious. It's Fauquier County. F-A-C-Q-U-I-E-R. Okay, and it's an old county. It's the major town in Fauquier County is, what's the name of the county? Help me.
Ward County's Fauquier.
No, what's the city that we used to go to? See? We've lost our minds together. We've been married so long. Warrenton, Virginia. Yes, Warrenton, Virginia.
Willard Scott's town.
Yes. In fact, my son has seen Willard Scott eat his breakfast. It's his claim to fame, I think. But we didn't do that. The people who voted for this all live in the area probably north of the Little Kanawha River. What about those counties like Mercer and McDowell and those? Oh, well, they were busy. How about those counties over there like Pocahontas? And so, well, they were busy too. Couldn't go over there to Virginia. They're fighting a war over there. So the people who say, yes, we want a new state, about a third of the people who will eventually be in the state had no say in it whatsoever. So it's all agreed. Okay, go that. We come up with the Constitution. The Constitution is approved. Interesting Constitution for the state of West Virginia. Now remember we're fighting a war, and one of the reasons we're fighting the war is to end slavery. And what's in the Constitution of the state of West Virginia? Slavery. Somebody says, do you see what this says? It says you can have slaves. I think you better take that out. Because I don't think A. Lincoln is going to go for that. And he didn't. So